Hey everyone, today's episode is gonna be a fun one. The topic of it is slow playing. This topic relates very well to a previous episode I did on deception. In that episode, I said you do need to deceive your opponents. However, you do not want to do it by slow playing. So, in line with that, I am going to give you a few reasons I have why slow playing is not very smart. Pay attention because it will save you a lot of money. I'll start off by what is the real reason why you're slow playing? You have pocket aces and you just want to get as much money as possible. This is not the right way to do it. So you're afraid the opponents are gonna fold. Is that one legitimate fear that you have? Well, I can say that fear is not that good of a fear. It has a tiny bit of legitimacy, but if you think about it, if they're folding to a single bet, they don't have that good of a hand anyway. You probably weren't gonna get a lot of money from them. Where you get a lot of money from is when someone has a second best hand, like pocket kings or something. That's where you get paid. But if they fold to one bet, you didn't really lose out on much. You might have gotten half a bet more. They fold some of the times, they call some of the times. Might be exaggerating a little, but you get the point. The other thing you should think about on that exact same topic is they might fold, yet they might call. Calling is huge. Calling is great. You are building a bigger pot. Another thing that they might do is they freaking might raise. And if you have a set of aces on a dry board, you are just in love if they raise. So they don't get a chance to raise unless you bet. So we are turning it into a huge pot early, getting all the chips in as soon as we can, because it doesn't matter what happens. If you get all your chips in with a severe advantage in percentage, you will win a ton of money in the long run. You might have got sucked out on this one, but imagine that replayed 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 100,000 times, and you're gonna make a ton of money, and you're gonna get sucked out very, 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 very little. So that is a topic of poker, is just think in the long run. If they raise, you get it all in, you make a ton of money. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, why you want to not slow play a huge hand. When you have a big hand, you want to have a big pot. Big pot. So the only way to get a big pot is to build a big pot. So it's not going to grow on its own. You got to put some stuff in so that they put some stuff in, and then other people put some stuff in. You want that pot big. So you put money in early, you put money in hard, and hopefully it grows. If you have the nuts and you don't get sucked out on, hopefully it grows rather nicely. So another mistake a lot of people don't really know about is poker is not an arithmetic
game.
The pots are not growing arithmetically. They are growing geometrically. So, little really simple definition behind that. Arithmetic sequences just have a constant growth rate, and the geometric sequences have a multiple between each growth. It's not just growing line by line by line. It is growing geometrically. And then there's growing exponentially. That's a whole nother story. But pots in poker grow geometrically. Why, you might ask? It is because, and I'll mention this in a future episode, when you make bets as a percentage of the pot. Once you get to the flop, you should know in your head what that pot is, and all bets are percentages of pot. And then future bets on the turn and river, they are also percentages of pot bets. That's how you think of it. If the pot is $100, you're not gonna bet $3 into it. You will never get anyone to fold. And if a pot is $50, you're never going to bet $200 into it. That is just a little bit reckless, and you're only going to get called by the nuts. So if the pot is growing geometrically, it is so good to build that pot early, because if you get that pot building, it is going to be gigantic at the end. It's just not growing slowly. It is soaring up there if you can light the fire, shall we say. It's just not a good idea because it is a geometric game. Finally, the last reason why people should not slow play a huge hand is reverse implied odds. And again, that's a very advanced topic, but the whole point of it is if you somehow get sucked out on, you cannot fold the hand. It reminds me of a poker hand I played the other day. I had pocket aces and someone bet in front of me and I just called. You know, I have aces. I want to get a big pot. A couple of other players in, flop comes something like ace 8 2. A rainbow, meaning no cards of the same suit. I have a set of aces. I cannot lose this pot. I have the nuts right now. I'm gonna check. Okay, someone else checks. Oh yes, someone bet. I'm like, I'm gonna really disguise this one, so I just call. One other person calls, and we got 3 people seeing the turn. Ends up being something, I would say, like a 7. So I'm like, I still got the nuts. I check. Someone else bets. The other person calls. I call. Now I'm gonna get him on the river. Good. Yeah. So river comes meaningless 10, let's say. And it's just like, I'm gonna check raise this. So I check, and they bet. I'm like, yes, I raise. Of course, in a very, very disguised way. I don't want to let them know I have amazing hand. And then, please call. He thinks about it, and he raises me. Yes, I got it all. I'm all in. I call. He has. Anyone know? Answer is Jack 9, and he had nothing on the flop, but I played it slowly, so he did not fold. Then 7 comes on the turn. He has a gut shot, and I played it slowly, so he did not fold. A 10 comes on the river, giving him a straight. 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, and he sucked out on me, and I lose my entire stack. And losing your entire stack is what we call reverse implied odds, because you cannot fold a set of aces. Once you get a set of aces, you cannot fold unless you're amazing at reading hands and you figure out that they have something better than you. But that is the reasons why slow playing is not a smart idea. I hope you really learned and listened to this lesson. Again, you guys can make the mistakes. By the way, that story, that was not me playing. I would not make those mistakes, and I would not make all those mistakes in a row. So I will never play like a hand like that. Maybe I did once a lifetime ago, but I know better to not play it that way. All the good poker players know better to not play it that way. And if you just don't play it that way, you will save yourself easily $1,000. Right there, I saved you $1,000 easily. If you play higher stakes, I've saved you thousands. So you owe me lunch or something. Anyway, I want you to listen carefully to what I say, because I am going to tell you the things where you do not fall for the same traps. I have lessons learned. I wasn't always a great player. I made lots of mistakes. I have those mistakes to tell you to avoid them, and you will do a whole lot better than you've been doing. I guess that's all I have for today. I've got my WSOP shirt on, so representing in the back as well. So poker's a great game. I hope you are enjoying it. It's tough to play sometimes these days, but I believe it will be around for a very, very long time. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you in the next one.